Andreas. Very nice Andreas Church, or I think it's called Old Andreas Church. Modern cemetery of Andreas's church. One of Andreas's church. This is the older part. This is a very fine church itself. Andreas, there are a lot of Canadian gravestones from the Second World War. Fields of Andreas, very peaceful. According to my map, those cows are grazing on the land of an old fort. So Andreas is almost the most northerly settlement in the Isle of Man. Only Bride seems to be further north. There's quite a bit of development and new properties. It has a single shop, it has a pub, and it has an airfield. I've taken a turning off the main road on the way to Bride. Not sure if that's a good idea yet. Could be a more interesting route. So this is the site of what was RAF Andreas Airfield, used still occasionally for agricultural flights and gliders. Not much remains of the old base. This feels like the setting for some kind of horror movie. Abandoned agricultural equipment, abandoned cars, overgrown grass, just very empty, very scary. So if you've got something to dump in the Isle of Man, just come up here to Andreas. Lots of equipment, containers, and very weirdly, a very big boat. So one of the runways of RAF Andreas is still intact. I just flew the drone over there and it still looks a reasonably usable runway. The abandoned farm equipment continues here in Andreas. Look at that. Wowza. Once you get closer to Bride, you get these strange little hills all around. I'm back on the main road again between Andreas and Bride. Still quite a way. That sign says I am in Bride, but I've still got a fair bit of walking to do. As you can see here, many of the hills in Bride, I believe that they are sand hills somehow. So while this is a main road between Andreas and Bride, there's not a lot of traffic. Maybe one car every 2 or 3 minutes and the occasional bus. Well, that sign says slow down, hedgehogs crossing. Sadly, I've passed at least 3 squished hedgehogs. Still not in Bride yet. Distances are quite large between these small settlements in the north of the Isle of Man. Famously, the Isle of Man has the same population density as China though. But yep, still not in Bride. When you see the 20-mile-an-hour speed limit, that's when you know you've arrived in a village or a town. Welcome to Bride City Centre. And this is Bride St Bridget churchyard, or the old graves here. So I've been through most of the old graves and I cannot find any written in Manx. A reminder that until a few years ago Bride had a primary school. Bride does have this very Nice little sitting area and park area, complete with cannons. I was told to meet people at the sunflower fields. Something tells me, given the amount of cars down there, that is a sunflower fields.